guys? Are we good to go? Okay. So our chosen organization is JP Morgan, and I'll let Carmel introduce the problem and how we got there. In terms of what we'll be talking you through would be the main tasks of identifying the problem, the solution we came up with, as well as the implementation plan. But there'll be running commentary in terms of what we experienced through that process. And during the Q&A session, we've got some additional observations based on our team and how well we work together. So I'll hand over to Carmel.
Thank you. So before I start, can I just ask for a show of hands? Anybody heard of JP Morgan Retail Bank, or perhaps have a current account with them? 1 high five, 2 high five, colonial cousins, 3 and 4. So basically, interestingly, JP Morgan recently has taken a strategic decision to enter the European Union within its retail banking market. It presently has investment banking, now wants to look at the retail component. With that, its predominant focus has always been the United States, so a bit of a market challenge here. With high market saturation from the likes of Lloyds and HSBC, though, there's a real problem in terms that they need to sort of be a differentiator and identify like profitable demographic groups and understand how to engage and ultimately serve them and win their business. So our consultancy is tasked with advising JP Morgan on how it can engage and also then entice the populace of Generation Y and Z, so it's basically everybody who was born from 1980 onwards. As a group, we identified the problem through several rounds of incubation and working in nominal pairs according to our different skill sets. We defined the problem as, how can JP Morgan persuade a techno-savvy generation to become their customer? Bearing in mind around 85% of Generation Y and Z interact with financial services through social channels. So if we move to the next slide, we moved on in this process, gathering vast amounts of data and research. One of the key things that we found was how we can actually translate that and engage with Generation Y and Z. So in order to do that, we actually explored the social channels and came across #banking Twitter group. And we actually joined this group and became a follower, and we actually proposed a solution to the Twitter group. Via this channel, we managed to meet a gentleman called Mark Hale, who's a specialist in this particular component, and he actually responded. We added him via LinkedIn, and we actually presented this problem to him to get his feedback. And what was quite sort of stark was the fact that Generation Y and Z had a specific social need, and they wanted a personalised relationship with the bank that could assist them with financial management, debt management, help them with providing ideas and also advising services. So to answer JP Morgan's sort of $1 million question, we consolidated this research and redefining the problem. It was evident that a solution was required. So I'm now going to pass you over to Guru, my colleague, who will take you through solution implementation.
Right. So the solution that we came up was JP Morgan must have a presence in the mobile application for banking. I'm sure almost all of you have a mobile phone, a smartphone, either an iPhone, Android, or my colleague from Microsoft has shown Nokia as well. So we all have a smartphone which is now equipped with new technologies, near field communication, and iPhone has come up with fingerprint technology as well, so you can authorize things. What we have come up with some new creative ideas, along with the standard features provided by the regular banks like HSBC, Santander. So we did some market research, what actually the current banks provide. So they provide view statements, payables and contracts, but they don't really provide anything else. But with JP Morgan, we have thought of giving something new, and those are play to win strategy. That is, if we get some customers, we have to retain them. And how we retain them is, one of the market strategy that we came up with, the Generation Y and Z want to meet an account manager face to face. How is it going to be possible? We came up with a face-to-face banking. That is, you press a button on your mobile app, you'll be connected to a call center who will not just speak to you, but you can see him online. With the new technologies in EU and UK, you'll be able to get that extra data in the bandwidth to speak to an account manager who can actually suggest you the better financial products, recommend you something new, so that you can be connected to the bank all the time. The second thing we provided was top-rated recommended products. So depending upon your spending patterns, your investments that you've taken, the bank will suggest what's the next you can do. It can give you feedback almost on a daily basis. So you can actually go about using it and enhancing your financial betterness. The third thing we came up was nobody has really implemented it, everybody is thinking about it, but we can provide an in-app authorization of buying regular things. For example, going to barista, buying coffee, our friends were talking about it, going to supermarket and buying your food. Everything can be really used using the in-app fingerprint authorization up to £25 to make the risks less. And by doing that, we'll get some benefits as well. So all in all, we're looking for some phase 2 as well, where we can provide some loyalty points while buying your products using the pay at technology. And those loyalty points, which you can see over there, show how much you have. And in the future, maybe we'll be able to provide some specific benefits like buying music on Amazon or iTunes app using those points, or possibly reducing APR on the loans on the investment products that you have already taken. And this way we thought we are changing the way the business is being done for a bank, and we showed using technology as incremental and the business model as completely radical, we're having a semi-radical innovation being done. We're also going to be working with other teams within the JP Morgan Bank, and those will be the way we can recommend products to open new ISA or savings account, and also while working with suppliers on taking, for example, working with Visa and MasterCard for point-of-sale transactions. So we're opening up our innovation for other people to come and contribute to us. Now coming to this, the product dimensions, we thought it is very much important for us to have a better quality, elegance, and originality. And the way we worked on it was we actually came up with all these ideas together. We put at to what the app should give. We worked on network nominal pairs, and then we showed the elegance is every application is supposed to have some kind of intuitive feature without which you as a customer will never want to have that installed, the application installed on your phone. That's where, and also we providing new offerings, and it's very, very original offerings. With this, I'll hand over to my friend, colleague, to take it forward for the implementation.
Thank you. So you may be asking, how is a mobile app going to solve the need to get into the retail bank within the EU? So bear in mind that this is only one of the challenges. What we're positioning is that this is our project that we're trying to get funding for, and there are other strategic projects or even tactical projects that align with us to tap into retail banking. So one of the implementation challenges for us is to continue the brand alignment, the company goal alignment, and also timing with dependent resources that we have with the other ongoing projects that are looking at things like ethical learning as well. So in terms of the plan, the challenge we had with this process was that we were continuing to learn things in this classroom environment, which we were using as tools to complement the common knowledge that we had. So we kept on going back to the process to look at what we were doing, how would we evaluate the success of this project, and then we applied more formal names to those common knowledge topics like acquiring customers, the number of downloads that you might have, feature adoption, do people actually use that interaction with the account managers as well as more commonplace things like increasing the brand awareness. The timelines might seem a bit aggressive, but the advantage is that JP Morgan is a large organization with the infrastructure in place and would be able to mobilize the development of this and also start integrating with those partners. So in terms of the investment, we're looking at very high level investment of £1.2 million. A large majority spent in marketing. As we said, it's a new market, and bear in mind this is specifically looking at the app component as opposed to the entire retail banking penetration aspect. Key benefit there would be increasing brand appeal, but as you can see, there are quite a few other benefits that we hope to achieve from this. Target market, we're looking at the Generation Y and Generation Z, so a total target market of about 100 million. And also bear in mind that even though we're talking about the EU, we are looking at a phased approach, so developing local solutions for a local market within the UK and using that to then localize and roll out further to the EU. There are obviously some risks. Some of the competitors are established, and we are very dependent on the timing from the retail bank as well. So in terms of the process we went through, we will open up to questions, and we do have 2 slides that focus specifically on how our process over the course of this week compared to what the prescribed flow was. And you'll see that there's a lot more iterative application of the standard process. So we had to do a lot of refinement of the ideas, a lot of incubation that took place at different stages. And we kept on challenging the idea to see how relevant it was as well. In terms of the structure and strengths of the team, we had a mixed bag. So we had the mobile deployment expert, we had the banking expert, we had 2 colleagues who are here for Q&A that were focusing on the ethical side, the research side, the action plan application, and then we also looked at it from a positioning perspective and how well it would appeal to the target market. So, any questions?